Hello friends, my name is Darius. Today I'm going to be talking about cigarette smokers. You know, I didn't even really originally want to make a video about cigarette smokers, but something struck me so tragic about cigarette smokers that I had to bring it up. Not only did I have family members who died from cigarette smoking, I'll share a quick little story with you. When I was young, that made me decide I would probably not want to be a cigarette smoker ever in my life. When I was about 9 or 10 years old, I lived out in a place called Paris, Texas. My grandmother used to smoke these super long cigarettes in a gold package. Don't really remember what they called, 500, something like that, hundreds, I don't remember. But my grandma always used to smoke cigarettes. And I used to just remember, I used to love the way it smelled when she opened up the package. It smelled really good. It had a really good sweet smell to it. On the contrary, when she put that flame to it, it totally changed the smell of that cigarette. However, one day, she went to bed early. I had snuck in her purse and pulled a cigarette out. So for later on, I would go on the front porch and try this cigarette. When I went and tried this cigarette, I noticed two things right away that pushed me away from cigarette smoke. And it pretty much altered my life from that point on. I've always had this different view on people who smoke cigarettes just because of my experiences. But when I lit that cigarette up and I took a drag, the first thing that happened to me is I immediately could not breathe. My body got a whole heat rush sensation. And I just remember getting really lightheaded, and I could not get this taste out of my mouth no matter what I tried. And I mean no matter what I tried. I mean, I only took one little tiny little hit and that's all it took. And I could not get the taste out of my mouth. It was terrible. And from that point on, I pretty much learned, that cigarette smoke's, pretty much not good for you. Anyhow, my grandma ended up passing away when I was in college. So that lets you know about the duration it took before the cigarette smoke actually made her pass. But today I just wanted to give you some reasons to think about. Now, this might not apply to everybody, but these do apply to most cigarette smokers in general. So I'm just going to give you some things that I wrote down just to think about. Maybe you would want to change your life for the better. I don't know. It's up to you. But here I go. You are being controlled by a chemical. Okay? A chemical drug and a corporation. Okay? They're making money off of you. Now, I want you to really think about this. Whoever invented cigarettes pretty much had an idea that the people who ever were going to be using them would come back to use them again. I don't think this was a fluke type of invention, if you will. It was specifically created to target people for sales, obviously. And that's just my opinion on it. But that's just how I see it. You may see it a different way, but I see it as a way to give people something that they're going to get hooked on, something that they're going to give, something they're going to build an addiction to. This is very important to think about, because psychologically is the problem that we're having with cigarettes. They get you hooked. You can't quit no matter what and how hard you try. You waste money on it that you don't have. You bum them from other people. You share with other people and you pass germs, viruses, bacteria. It's pretty gross if you think about it. And like I said, all these things don't apply to every single particular scenario of person, but it does apply to this in general because I know a lot of cigarette smokers personally. You steal from stores and other people when you don't have them. You smell horrible for hours and even days on end. Your teeth turn yellow and start to decay. And if you know anything about the dentist, and I can tell you I know a little thing about the dentist. I have a couple amalgams that I'm going to get taken out. I've had some teeth extractions tooth extractions that I've had taken out. The dentist is not a fun place, and especially when you're going to be having all your teeth worked on. Bad breath that you cannot fix, even with Tic Tac, gum, mouthwash, you name it, it does not matter. This cigarette smoke has one distinct smell that you cannot rid of. You spend money on lighters. Okay? Think about this. Think about how much money you spend on lighters or matches. It doesn't matter. It's still a chemical. You're using the butane daily along with the chemicals in your cigarette. So you're just doubling it up, tripling it up, quadrupling it up on all these chemicals that you're passing through your body. And remember, you're supposed to be caring about yourself. This is your body. You only get one body. You only get one set of lungs. You think someone's just going to, in your family's going to be like, hey man, here, have my lungs. Because you fried yours up from cigarette smoking. Your hands and your hair smell bad all the time. This is very true. You were a zombie smoking in all kind of weather. Think about this. I see tons of people out in the freezing cold. I'm up here in Washington State, and we had some -15, -16 degree days, and I see people standing outside. Let me give you an example. Like so, with their cigarettes. If you're trying to tell me that you can honestly say that you're actually receiving pure satisfaction from smoking that cigarette in extreme weather, there's a serious psychological problem going on there. Not only that, it's like when I watch cigarette smokers smoke, it's like they're not even smoking to enjoy the cigarette. It just looks like a repetitive process. It just looks like something that they're subconsciously programmed to do because they've been doing it for so long. I even see cigarette smokers look like they're not even inhaling the smoke. It just looks like they're wasting the cigarette. And then they put it while halfway out and they flick it. When I see other people come around and pick it up and smoke it all the way down till it's nil. So I don't really understand all in all about cigarette smoke, but all I know is it's not good for you and we need to make a change. Another scenario that affected me about cigarette smoking. You smoke in your car with your window cracked, with your kids in the back, thinking that's going to justify the smoke leaving the car and not affecting your children in the back seat. This is terrible because my baby mother thought she was slick. And she would smoke with my daughter in the car. Sometimes not even with the windows cracked, okay? And my daughter grew up with asthma. My daughter, okay? So don't sit here and act like it can't happen to yours, because it will. Speaking of now, my daughter, who now lives with me, that asthma problem has been corrected. She's feeling a lot better now. And the same thing you could do for your children if they're experiencing the same thing. Or you know someone who's putting their children through that. Please do something about it. You kill yourself slow. Really think about this. You kill yourself slow. You age faster. You gray faster. You wrinkle faster. You're going to die in a lot of pain. Okay? Really think about this one as well. Okay? You hit your elbow, you hit your funny bone, you stub your big toe, you twist your ankle playing basketball, you hurt yourself lifting weights. Think about that pain and enhance it by 1,000 times of the pain you're going to feel on your deathbed, dying because you can't breathe, because some vital organ inside you shut down. You can only socialize and date other cigarette smokers, because people like myself and other people that I know that don't smoke cigarettes really feel a disgusting disassociation with cigarette smokers. Why? Because all the different things I've just said. You become non-attractive to other non-smoking smokers. You ruin your car, you ruin your clothes with the smell of cigarette smoke. You cannot think clearly. I mean, after all, this is your brain. And you're filling it with smoke. And you're telling me you can think clearly. No. You think clearly. You like how I said that? You think that's what's happening. But that's not the case. Any real doctor will tell you any kind of smoke would inhibit any kind of natural brain functions. And the last thing I'm going to say is you smoke more when you're depressed. And this is very true. Like I said, I know lots of cigarette smokers, and it's terrible. It's a disgusting habit. I know it's hard, but there's options out there. There's vaporizers. There's e-cigarettes. Yes, it's hard. Anything that you've built an addiction to is going to be hard to quit. But I quit eating meat. And like I said, I'm from Texas. I grew up on soul food. I've eaten meat my whole life, and I gave it up. Just like I gave up smoking marijuana, went from smoking bongs to blunts to vaporizers to nothing. So if I can do it, you can do it. You must stop killing yourself. You must stop killing others with secondhand smoke. You must stop killing the planet. Everything that we do contributes to the destruction and demise of our own health, because we don't take the time to educate ourselves on what we're putting in our bodies. My name is Darius, and I thank you for listening.